The Shepnaz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Shepnaz Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm your host today. And today we have a special guest with us, not just Pastor Rob Paul, but also Jacob Bush, who is going to be our new head of schools here at Shepnaz Christian School. So first of all, I'm going to bring you in, Rob, to kind of tell us the role that he's going to be serving and how that's going to affect what Mike is doing also, and how we came about finding Jacob in the first place. So welcome in.
Thank you. It was like a needle in a haystack. It was a long, hard search. But so the context here is that Jacob is here. He's going to be our new head of school. Starts in July. So he's still wrapping up the school year at the school he's serving at now. But Mike Fluhart has been here for 8 years now. Is going to be moving into a different role. He's going to be moving into more of like a development role, where he's going to focus on trying to raise some funds for the school, trying to pay off the new building that we're building, and create some extra revenue streams to help operate the school. So he's working on those things, and then we'll ride off into the sunset from there at some point. So we've been and Mike told me when Mike first came, he's like, I'll give you 5 years. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And we squeezed 8 out of him. So maybe more, probably 9, because he'll be here next year too.
And just so you know, Jacob, that's pretty much SOP around here. So
plan to be here longer than expected.
But he's done a great job. The school has grown tremendously. There's been lots of changes. And so as he kind of transitions into a new role, we've been looking, and we've known for a couple years. We actually were trying to replace him for this past school year, and we didn't find anyone. So we'd actually been working with a search firm, and we had interviewed a lot of people, and it just wasn't the fit that we were looking for. And when they sent me Jacob's resume, I'm like, this might be the guy. I want to talk to this guy. And so it was been a great fit. And so, Jacob is head of school. I'll let him tell where he's at now, what he's doing and everything. But he'll be starting here in July 1st, somewhere in that neighborhood. We're super excited about it. So we have him here so you can get to know him today.
Nice. Well, welcome in, Jacob. And you survived your first staff lunch. So you know what you're getting into. But I wanted to just...
we made sure we had the contract signed before we offered him to join us for lunch.
And I should say that this is a credit to you. Like, we have had several people that we were like, almost. But when we were able to get you, we were like, this is the one. Yeah. So, and we really feel that way. And I hope you receive that. Tell us a little bit about maybe just your background. A lot of times we love to hear when we have somebody on the podcast for the first time is even just kind of your walk of faith of how you came to the Lord, where your background's from, and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I had the fortune of growing up in the church, 2 wonderful Christian parents, and attended Lake Home Church of the Nazarene all of my childhood, and then further into my adult life after graduated college and got married. We made that our church home. And so formation in the Nazarene church gave me a solid foundation. Mm-hmm. But I was saved at a young age, was at the altar with a wonderful lady. Her name's Virginia Cameron. And she had...
Was she a music teacher?
Yeah, she was the music professor at
NBNU.
Yes.
I remember her.
So I grew up in church with her, and I just remember her singing hymns, and she was kind of a headbanger, when it came to hymns, but not really, not for like rock music, but for hymn music. Yeah. And we really enjoyed our church home. And so even though saved at a young age, I have a fun testimony. Maybe we can talk about that sometime. Maybe not today, but committed my life to the Lord. And I'd say from there, He's continuously been preparing me for whatever's next, as He does so well. And so even my time as a janitor and a working in schools. I've always wanted to be a part of education, and landed at Mount Vernon High School as an intervention specialist, which was not a job I was looking for. Took the job because I needed a job and had my wife and was hoping to start a family. So started in that special needs world, not realizing what that was going to do when Rachel and I, my wife Rachel, took the call to go to Celeryville. And we believe that was out of obedience as well. That's a fun story too. Again, another podcast. We're going to do some fun podcasts together.
I'll start making notes. I got a lot of episodes.
If you say that, you will be back. Because,
But we've been there. We didn't even know what we were going for. Essentially, I was a young teacher, no administrative experience. And so I had the privilege of growing with Celeryville at a young age. I started there when I was 26. And so over that time period, I got to grow with the school. We started out similarly the size of Shepherd and have grown the school while I've been there. But I've grown personally and professionally as being a part of that organization. And again, more preparation for what's to come. And even these last few years at Celeryville have been really formative to set us up for something incredible here at Shepherd. But all along the way, it was a faith question. It's about being obedient to God. And I can't say I've always done that in my life, but I do see the outpouring of his blessing when we are obedient. And that's been my message to folks throughout this process, because it's definitely surprising when they're like, hey, things are going well. Why are you leaving? And I have a twin brother, Isaac. We talked about him at lunch. That was fun. I am the better looking one. Don't forget it. And the more intelligent one. I'm going to send him this so he hears me say that.
He's probably not the first time he's heard it.
He might disagree on that. Maybe a couple of this. But 2 years ago, he departed Ohio for Florida. And of course, we were all broken up about that. He's my twin brother. We're like married at the hip, and for him to up and leave like that, like, Isaac, what are you doing? And he essentially said, this is what the Spirit has impressed upon my heart. And his leap of faith gave me great hope that the Lord was not done using me, and he might ask us to go, and that helped prepare my heart for that. So I'm grateful for his step of faith in that. It was very difficult to see him leave. But I've experienced some of those same things, departing Celeryville and departing family who we love, and saying, you know what, God has something incredible in store for all of us. Let's follow that. So I've tried to dedicate my life to that. I am a fully Christian education supporter. I wasn't always that way. Grew up in public education, taught in the public schools, but we have some incredible work we can do in Christian schools. We ought to do that as much as possible.
So really quick, I just wanted this is very, very important. You probably saw recently in the news the two twin ladies from, I think it was over in Europe somewhere, that they witnessed a car accident or a carjacking or something, and they got interviewed, and they were two identical twin ladies, and this like viral because the reporter asked them a question and they both answer in perfect unison, everything, like just completely everything, like the whole thing, like this is like, it's like they didn't, there was like, did you rehearse that? It's just like, it's perfect. So anyway,
if it didn't end in jinx, then that was a,
that's funny.
Sorry. So we digress.
You had mentioned along the way there about family. So tell us a little bit about your family.
I have my lovely bride, Rachel. We met at MVNU when we were both there attending undergraduate, and she was an exercise studies major. I was in education, so our paths didn't really cross. We both loved athletics, her more than me. I'm like a amateur, what's that, intramural type player. Yeah. She played collegiate sports. I did not.
Okay. What did she play?
She played softball.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Softball, and she likes basketball, loves volleyball. So we met on the volleyball court. Her roommate was an education major and said, hey, why don't you come be a part of our team? So I did. And I was a volleyball official for a long time, professional volleyball official. So I was in love with volleyball too, but for a different reason. And so we ended up playing together. And then I was like, oh, I really like your laid back style.
I really like your serve.
Yeah. So we got to talking, and we started dating around November of our senior year, and just fell in love with one another. And we got engaged in June and married the following November, and made Mount Vernon our home. My dad has lived in Mount Vernon his whole life, so I thought I was going to be a townie and live in Mount Vernon my whole life with her. And that didn't happen, obviously. But she went back to school for massage therapy, so she might not like it that I said she's a massage therapist by trade, but she really does love all things human body, how they work. Yeah. She knows a lot about that, far more than I do. I just say, hey, will you rub that? And it works out pretty well. Yeah. But we got to grow together, and then we started having kids 2012, and the Lord blessed us with 4 beautiful daughters, Jordan, Quinn, Adeline, and Piper, and they all have very different personalities. I'm excited for y'all to get to meet them because they're very special kids, just as all of our kids are, but I'm particularly fond of them.
Yeah, well, that's good. It works out that way.
Tell us their ages.
Jordan is 13, Quinn is 11, Adeline is 9, and Piper is 6.
6. All right.
Yeah.
So you live with 5 girls.
Yes, 5 wonderful females. Let me repeat that. 5 wonderful females.
The joys of your life.
Yes. Yeah. So they have brought just tremendous joy. And Jordan is old enough now. She's more active in athletics, and so we've enjoyed getting to watch her on the field. And she's not particularly fond of school, but she loves the athletic part. Quinn, definitely like, hey, I'm an academic, but she's got that athletic side. Addie and Piper, we have to figure out yet. They're still a little young. Yeah. Like I said at lunch, Addie's the lover. She gets hold of people and wants to love on them. So Piper, Spitfire, that's all we say.
We were comparing at lunch today. We were comparing your kids to the other staff kids that we have. So there's definitely some comparisons and similarities.
Yeah.
You kind of walked us through kind of your spiritual walk and family, and we know from what you said that you started as an intervention specialist. So kind of talk us through that professional journey of how it went from being an intervention specialist to now going to head of schools.
Yeah. That transformation really happened for me at Celeryville, I would say, because I started in the classroom there with just a few administrative responsibilities. But as I grew in that, an intervention specialist particularly deals with special needs students who have IEPs and have been identified with a learning disability. And so didn't really expect to have a passion for that, but that was my first job. So I kind of had to have a passion for it, but I came to love those that might seem outsiders. In education, we call them atypical students. So these are kids who don't fit in the typical mold. And just spending time with those kids helped me realize that not every student learns the same way. That was a good lesson for me to learn as a teacher. But that translated to administrative work in that Christian schools generally may not entertain bringing students who are atypical or have learning disabilities into the fold. And that's something that Celeryville didn't do when I came particularly well. And, I'm learning about Shepherd and how you guys have welcomed students with learning disabilities. And so a passion of mine is to
That's because the pastor has one.
Oh, so. I didn't know that. Okay. So, but because of that, I think that can be done well. And so part of my time at Celeryville, in fact, most of the last several years have been dedicated to ensuring that we have all of the supports we need to help our special needs students in a Christian school setting, because our families have kids and those kids all have different needs. Yeah. We ought to be able to provide the resources and the engagement that they need. We're going to send them to school, but why not here? So in my in my experience, I want to be able to minister to all of the people that Jesus loves. Jesus loves them too. So why would we turn them away for that? Now, granted, there are things that we can't serve, needs that we can't meet, but let's just be honest about that. And the ones we can, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, I got to meet Presley, who's passionate about that. I have some folks at my current school who are just in love with the idea of making Christian schools a solid place for our special needs students to be as well as our typical student. And so I think I get to bring that to the table as an administrator, that we can do that well. And it takes a lot of creativity, but why not?
Well, and a lot of Christian schools don't do that because it takes extra resources and that they typically don't have the access to. But with your background and everything, that's really exciting. So, well, I'm excited to learn more about your professional expertise and credentials and all that. We'll probably do that in our next episode.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there for today, and we're going to continue this discussion tomorrow. We'll get a little bit into kind of maybe what his vision as we're growing the school, and we're going through construction right now and trying to open up some new classrooms for next fall. In the meantime, you can check out everything that's going on at church by going to shepnaz.org. Also, we encourage you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. For Jacob and Pastor Rob, I'm Joe. Have a great day. This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.